Okay, now the reason why... Okay, if you watch my last video, you're probably suspecting that I'm a Christian furry. Yes, I am a Christian furry, and I'm going to go into more detail on that in another video. I'm bringing this up now is because it's going to be related to later on in my video. Now, I want you to take this kind of lightly. Don't take it, too seriously, because bad things happen when people get too serious. Bad things happen when people aren't serious enough. So, on with the review. Not the review. Anyways, this is going to be about medical marijuana. And 7,000 to 6,000 BC, the Earth's woven fabric was believed to be made out of hemp. 27,000 BC was the first medical use of marijuana by the Chinese Emperor Shengyang. And in 1619, Jamestown Colony passes a law requiring farmers to grow hemp. Now, this was the first marijuana-related law in history. Hemp was the primary crop of George Washington, and the Declaration of Independence itself was printed on hemp paper. 1912 arrived in Southwest Mexicans looking for work. Marijuana was rumored to give the Mexicans superhuman strength because of an attack on 2 people by one Mexican. A law was passed banning marijuana. The law was also used as a way to control the Mexicans in that area. 1930, control over drugs was given to the Treasury Department instead of the Health Department. The department was under control of Harry J. Anslinger, which believed that if laws were tough enough, people would learn to behave. 1930, control over drugs was given to the Treasury Department instead of the Health Department. The department was under control of Harry J. Anslinger, which believed if laws were tough enough and hard enough, people would learn to behave. 1933, marijuana was popular with jazz singers because it makes music sound better, and Harry J. Anslinger thought that he could persuade white Americans that marijuana was a menace. Scared voters might push their state to join a Uniform Narcotics Act. Anslinger used control over the media to start a propaganda campaign using films. Propaganda campaign was successful. 1937, without any scientific inquiry, public debate, the marijuana law was put into place. The law only allowed marijuana to be produced with a special stamp in the Treasury Department, and the Treasury Department didn't allow out any stamps. So they had complete control over the flow of marijuana. 1944, the mayor of New York was suspicious, so he started to study with the help of 31 scientists and partial scientists. The study was called The Marijuana Problem of New York. The study showed that marijuana did not lead to violent behavior, did not cause uncontrollable urges, and did not alter someone's personality. And marijuana concerns were overshadowed by heroin addiction. In response, Anslinger declared that smoking marijuana was a gateway to other drugs, that argument is still used today. 1961, a single convention, Narcotic Act, outlawed marijuana globally. Between 1948 and 1963, $1.5 billion have been spent on marijuana laws. '67, New Generation and the Birth of Hippies. The new federal of the Treasury Department, Henry, can't pronounce his name, Henry something, public soon demanded to know more about marijuana, so the government started scientific testing about the marijuana smoking. They found out that marijuana smoking made people happy, intoxicated, and then sleepy, which is what marijuana users have been telling people for the past 50 years. 1968, the Vietnam War. 50% of American soldiers smoked marijuana. President Nixon was put into Operation Interest, which was to search every car that crossed the Mexico-U.S. border. This resulted in border crossing chaos. The country was an outcry from public using the crossing, and no marijuana was found. People had more problems with marijuana laws than marijuana itself. Harsh penalties were not working. Marijuana had become an unenforceable law. 1969, Control over the Substance Act limited penalties. 1964 to 1969, $9 billion spent on anti-marijuana laws. $9 billion. Now remember, this country is in $15 billion worth of debt. No, I think it's 15 trillion. My apologies. Trillion. 1972, marijuana becomes a minor offense and the equivalent of a parking ticket. 1973, the state of Oregon is the first state to completely decriminalize marijuana. Soon after, 10 other states decriminalized marijuana. 1970 to 1977, $76 billion spent on anti-marijuana laws. $76 billion. Billion. The church started movement against pot, bring about Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988. 1988 to 1999, $214.7 billion spent on anti-marijuana laws. 2000. Some Christians smoke weed now and have found Bible verses to support it. Genesis chapter 29 through 31. Then God said, Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of the earth, and every tree which has fruit yielding seed. It shall be food for you. And to every beast on the earth, every bird of the sky, everything that moves on the earth which has life, I give every green plant for food. I give every green plant for food. And it was so. Okay, so let's get this straight. God supports marijuana. Whoa. Marijuana can be used to treat, cure, or help with the symptoms of all kinds of things. I'm going to start in alphabetical order. Attention deficit disorder, arthritis, asthma, brain injury, back and neck problems, bipolar disease, chronic disease, cancer, chronic pain, depression, all types, eating disorders, gastrointestinal problems, head injury, kidney failure, muscle spasms, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, pain and spinal cord injuries. Oh, and it can also help you grow back limbs. Oh, never mind. Can't help you grow back limbs. I'm sorry. Anyways. Overall, over 3,000 medical uses and counting. And hemp can be made into anything. Almost anything. 1 acre of hemp equals 4.1 acres of trees when it comes to making paper. This is also going to help the economy, and completely honest, you think tree loggers grow out of jobs? Tree logging is a really dangerous job. I'd rather go hemp than tree log any day. In my research, I found little or no side effects from eating marijuana. Only when smoking inhaled it poses a problem for the lungs. Smoking anything can decrease your lung capacity by 15% temporarily, but there's still many ways to take marijuana without smoking.